Hello, friends. Today we're diving into the captivating story of a man whose name struck terror into nations, whose army crushed empires, and whose fame echoed through the ages. Get ready because we're talking about Attila, the Scourge of God.
In the vast expanses of Eurasia, where horses ran faster than the wind and life was a harsh school of survival, a boy was born. No one could have imagined that this child would become a nightmare for Rome and Byzantium, that his name would be whispered in fear, and that his army would sweep away everything in its path. Attila, as he was named, grew up in the Hunnic tribe, a nomadic people whose roots were lost in the depths of time. From childhood, he learned to ride horses, shoot arrows accurately, and master the art of war. He was taught to be fearless, ruthless, and loyal to his tribe. Young Attila was different from his peers. A fire burned in his eyes, strength radiated from his movements, and confidence resonated in his voice. He learned quickly and soon surpassed many warriors in his tribe. He wasn't afraid of hardship, didn't back down from danger, and was always ready for battle. He was respected and feared. Years passed, and Attila grew stronger and more influential. He participated in many raids and battles, displaying incredible bravery and tactical genius. His name became increasingly well known, and soon he became one of the most respected military leaders of the Huns. In 434 AD, after the death of his uncle Rua, Attila, along with his brother Bleda, became the chieftain of the Huns. But power shared is always a struggle. Attila understood this and knew that he needed sole power to achieve his goals. A few years later, under mysterious circumstances, Bleda died, and Attila became the sole ruler of the Hunnic Empire. Having become the chieftain, Attila began to implement his ambitious plans. He wanted to create a great empire that would stretch from the Rhine to the Volga, from the Baltic to the Black Sea. He wanted the whole world to tremble before his name. He started by strengthening his army. He reorganized it, improved its weapons and discipline. He attracted warriors from different tribes and peoples, creating a powerful and diverse army ready for any challenge. Then he began his conquests. The first to be hit were the eastern provinces of the Roman Empire. The Huns invaded Thrace, Macedonia, and Greece, plundering and destroying everything in their path. They stormed cities, burned villages, and killed anyone who resisted. The Byzantine Emperor Theodosius too was terrified. He realized that he couldn't stop Attila by force. Therefore, he decided to pay him a huge tribute to leave his empire alone. Attila agreed, but he wasn't going to stop there. In 451 AD, Attila turned his gaze on the Western Roman Empire. He gathered a huge army, which included not only Huns, but also other tribes, Ostrogoths, Gepids, Heruli, Rugii, and many others. According to historians, the number of his troops reached 500,000. Attila's army invaded Gaul, modern France, and began to devastate it. Cities surrendered one after another, villages burned, and residents fled in panic. The Roman Emperor Valentinian III was in despair. He realized that his empire was on the verge of collapse. At this moment, Aetius, a talented Roman commander who managed to unite the forces of the Romans and the Visigoths, came to Rome's aid. He met Attila's army on the Catalaunian Plains. The battle was fierce and bloody. According to historians, up to 300,000 people died in it. Despite the huge losses, Attila wasn't defeated. He retreated, but didn't give up on his plans. The following year, he invaded Italy and began to devastate its northern provinces. He destroyed many cities, including Aquileia, which was one of the richest and most prosperous cities in the Roman Empire. Then Attila moved on Rome. The whole city was in terror. Residents prayed for salvation. And then Pope Leo I decided to personally meet with Attila and try to persuade him not to destroy the city. The meeting took place outside the walls of Rome. Pope Leo I came out to Attila accompanied by several priests. He spoke to Attila long and persuasively. He spoke of mercy, of forgiveness, of the sanctity of Rome, and a miracle happened. Attila agreed not to touch Rome. Why he did it remains a mystery. Perhaps he was impressed by the courage and sanctity of Pope Leo I. Perhaps he just didn't want to risk besieging a well-fortified city. Or maybe he just decided that it would be more profitable to receive a ransom for Rome than to destroy it. After leaving Italy, Attila returned to his headquarters in Pannonia, modern Hungary. He was full of plans and intentions. He wanted to continue his conquests and create a great empire, but fate decreed otherwise. Shortly after returning home, Attila died. The circumstances of his death are still unclear. According to one version, he died of a nosebleed that doctors couldn't stop. According to another version, he was killed by his own wife Ildiko. Attila's death marked the beginning of the end of his empire. After his death, his sons began to fight for power, and the Hunnic Empire disintegrated. The Huns were ousted from Europe and dissolved among other peoples. But here's the most interesting thing, friends. Many historians believe that Attila was not just a cruel conqueror, but a man fulfilling some higher mission. They believe that he was a tool in the hands of God, which was supposed to punish the Roman Empire for its sins and vices. They believe that he was the Scourge of God, as his contemporaries called him. And guess what? There's a version that Attila was a vegetarian. Yes, you heard right. Some historical sources claim that he ate exclusively plant-based foods and despised meat. Imagine, the formidable conqueror, striking terror into half the world, turns out to be a staunch vegetarian. Here's such an unexpected detail in his biography.
This is the story of Attila, the Scourge of God, a man whose name is forever etched in history. I hope you found it interesting. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and write a comment. And don't miss our next videos, in which we will tell you many more interesting and informative things. See you soon.